Good evening, Flaskin enjoyers. Hope you're doing alright, 'cause it's time for the abnormal barders. Yes, in about 45 minutes, several skins will become marketable, and we'll go ahead right now, figure out prices to offer for all these skins, and of course, race to put those barders down the second they become marketable. Those skins, they are referred to as abnormals, some terminology we use. The abnormals for today are the Nuke Vibe Garage Door, Cryo Furnace, Isoparam L96. We also happen to have the Big Toe Boots. We have the No Mercy Sheet Metal Double Door and the Bone Box. So we've got a decent amount of skins to chase after. And of course, tomorrow, when the rust rotates, we'll see the likes of the Island Assault Roadside Gloves. We'll see the Dominus Mortis AK-47 and the Steel Primitive skins. They will all become marketable then. So if you've just kind of sat there and wondered, what on earth are you talking? Abnormal skins? Regular skins? What are we talking about here? Well, if you don't understand our terminology, I can help you out. Basically, consider looking at the description right now. You'll see two videos I provided. Basically, the first video is a short video, which is 60 seconds long, which will quickly and briefly explain what abnormals are. In short, as I've already said, they become marketable before the rust river rotates, and we know exactly when they become marketable. So we'll figure out prices beforehand, race to put those barders down, and then afterwards we can look at all the skins, we can look and see how many barders each skin has, look and see how high the price goes, and then consider, you know what? I feel confident about that skin. I feel like it's actually going to retain its value in the foreseeable future. I'm going to go buy some from the rust store. That's how it is. Gives us more confidence in trying to figure out what potentially will be doing good in terms of becoming a nice profitable skin in the future. Now, if you want to be able to identify abnormals, if you want to learn a lot more about them, everything there is to know, consider watching the second video in the description. It's about 20 minutes long, but it goes a lot more in-depth, and it will literally showcase to you all the information we know about abnormals. At the end of the day, it's a very nice, smart way to approaching making some nice investments with rust skins. Sounds good? Right. So let's go ahead, start talking about all these skins in order of sales. Let's get started with the Nuke Vibe Garage Door. So this is a $3 skin. It's a very cool looking design, but I've got to get this in your head. We are looking as if we're going to be getting a record-breaking amount of garage doors this year. We still have the second half of this year because we've just passed the halfway point. Yep, we're now in July. I won't be surprised in the slightest if we do see a lot more garage door Twitch drops, and I won't be surprised if we see a lot more of these being accepted in rust doors. I won't be surprised if we see some very cool looking designs. I won't be surprised if they also sell potentially for $3 and more. It's becoming more and more of a concern. As we quickly hop back over to here, let me just look up all the garage doors. I can't click here because obviously you may notice that this was bugged for a while, but here we are. Garage doors in 2025, we currently have 21. The Nuke Vibe is not there currently. But if we could just quickly compare to the previous year, 2024, we've got a record-breaking amount of 34. If you kind of put two and two together, if we're just past the halfway point, we already have 21, there's a decent chance we might end the year with 40 plus. We are going to surpass the amount of, garage doors we got in 2024. That feels like that is going to happen, and that is a concern, because that was a record-breaking year after the previous year was a record-breaking year. We keep seeing more and more and more and more and more garage doors. So the issue is, unfortunately, because there's so many of them, they all compare to each other. It's harder for them to maintain interest. It's hard for them to maintain their price. Now, by all means, if you bought one of these for yourself because you thought, hey, I think that looks cool, I want to buy one, that's fine. You bought one for yourself. You treated yourself. You supported the skin creators. Not going to hate. But I will point this out. Have we seen a collection continuation? No, I have not seen that. So that's a bit awkward, yes. Will we see a continuation? I wouldn't be surprised if we do. I'm fully expecting it eventually. But garage door, I'm still so much concerned. I can see someone's asking a question. I'll sort that out a little bit later. But in regards to this garage door, $3 in the rust door, I think I'm only going to offer up to $1.50. I am that not confident in garage doors. I like the skin. I think it looks cool, but unfortunately, I just don't have that much confidence. So again, we'll just quickly take a look at all the garage doors that came out in 2025, and I feel like that'll really illustrate the point. So, away we go. Neon Farm Door, down 62%. Forbidden Mayan Temple Garage Door, down 57%. Neon Exit Garage Door, down 38%. Aztec Garage Door, down 49%. Point made, down 60, down 54, down 60, down 35, down 67, down 49, down 64, down 50, down 73, down 43, down 2. That one's actually improving. That one's actually getting a little bit better. And I also can confirm Mystic Tree's actually back up into the positive now. Wow. But the vast majority of these garage doors are down by about half their price. So yes, that is a concern. So that's why I'm suggesting $1 to $1.50. If you want to play it a little bit more safe, you could probably do something like 90 cents to $1.30. But yeah, $1 to $1.50 will be my suggestion. I hope it works out. I hope we do see like more collection continuations, but it's just I'm still concerned. Now, we'll say this at the very least. I of course did my 48-hour analysis. So let's just quickly hop over to here. Let's go grab those numbers. Let's go remind ourselves what was the estimate, because I thought that was going to do between 23 to 26,000 subscribers. As of now, it has fallen short. But even with, another 20 or so hours until the roster rotation, I don't think that's matching up to 23,000 subscribers. That honestly looks like it has undersold based on what I thought, and yet still, I don't think it's retaining its price. Sorry to say. As time goes on, if we do see collection continuations and whatnot, I could see it working out, but we haven't got signs of that right now, and unfortunately, I'm still concerned. So by all means, if you want to go buy one for yourself, go buy one. If you feel more confident than I do, you're more than welcome to offer more. But personally, based on what I'm seeing there, that's the price suggestions I'm going to sit there and say. So, I hope you understand, but you still have your own free will, your own choice to make if you want to go ahead and offer more. It's up to you. Cryo Furnace. So yes, this and the L96 were fairly similar, their sales, but, by the end of the tenure of the 7 days, it has now gone ahead with a little bit more of a lead with 400 extra subscribers almost compared to that. Now, let's talk about furnaces, because furnaces are quite similar. We don't get as many, but they are starting to become a bit of a problem because, well, take a look at this. Hedge, it's furnace, not furnaces. Yeah, sorry. We have had quite a decent amount of furnaces over the past few years. So far this year, we only have 5, because again, it's not counting the Cryo one. That's down 60, that's down 30, that's down 50. Ugh. But then we also look at the previous year, so we'll notice some of these are actually doing quite all right now. Otherworldly, evens. Frozen Crypt, +1, basically evens. Ultramarine, up by 80%. We got Polished Obsidian here. That's up by 241%. And I still don't know why. I don't know why that became valuable. Still don't understand. Anyway, the majority of these are in the negative. Not cool, not nice. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But in regards to our Cryo Furnace, I think people actually really do like the design. They appreciate it. They like the collection. But then let's also look at the previous year, and oh no, it's the same thing. The majority of these skins are down, and only a few of them are in the positive. So please be wary. Please be a little bit concerned. Don't just assume everything's going to be all right. You have to be a little bit hesitant. But looking at the collection, as we all now know, you have currently the fridge, the small box, and the furnace. And we've just seen the garage door being submitted this past weekend. Let me also remind you, that garage door has transparency and it also glows in the dark ever so nicely. There's actually 2 different versions. One is opaque, as in you can't see through it, and the other one does have a window that you can see through. I'd like to see the collection continuation happen, but let me also remind you, with the many other doors that have been submitted for this collection, it hasn't worked out. We haven't seen those sheet metal doors, or we haven't seen the sheet metal double doors, but I'm sure you'll see a short video of this from me by now. It's nice, it stands out, it looks cool, it's a lovely collection continuation, but are we actually going to see it? So again, just to repeat, go over to here. You'll notice we've already seen submissions for a sheet metal double door, a sheet metal door. They weren't accepted. And they were, just to remind you, they were provided with a non-transparent version each as well, and yet still, they didn't get those acceptances. But I think Fuff will persevere. I think he will go ahead and resubmit them or tweak them and make a version 2 each. I do expect more of this collection because it is selling quite nicely. But that furnace right there, over 20,000 subscribers, that is the top selling deplorable at the moment. And if I could just quickly do this again, what is the highest ever furnace skin that's sold the most? Let's just quickly go ahead and find out. So look over to here, look at them based on subscriber counts. What do I see? Come on. The answer is, that isn't actually in the very top 10, so that's quite interesting. Wow, that did 50,000. Oh, wow. So anyway, where's Cryo? Cryo. I can't see the Cryo because it doesn't exist, Hedge. Oh, yeah, because it still hasn't updated it. So Cryo would actually end up probably around over here. Yep, maybe just short. There's still plenty more furnaces above it in terms of overall sales and subscriber counts and whatnot. But do notice, down, good, down, 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 good, down, down, down. Yeah, it's a bit of a concern, isn't it? Yeah, the majority, like 90% of those were in the negative. So we'll see how it goes, but I am concerned, and I think I'm going to do 70 cents to $1. I do expect it to bounce up a fair bit if we see a collection continuation, but are we? Are we going to see it happen? Skin Creator is trying, but it's up to Face Punch, isn't it? So I'll do 70 cents to $1. I would like to see it succeed, but I am concerned. All right? Isoparam L96. I can confirm to you a collection continuation was produced this past weekend, a bolt-action rifle, which you'll see right over to here. There you go. And that also looks very nice and shiny, looks very impressive. Got a gift there showcasing it as well. Cool. So you can see that looks nice, but is this going to be all right? 20,000 plus subscribers now. Well, let's just remind you of L96s, and you're going to quickly find out my thoughts in regards to, well, you know, L96s. So, yeah, they're doing good, aren't they? Yeah. So only one single L96 skin is currently in the positive. All the others are down. And earlier this year, we had a very cool, nice, shiny, metallic Redemption L96 being accepted. It's lost a third of its value. That sold less compared to the Isoparam. That has a lot of skins in its collection, and it's still lost its value. So I will sit here and say this. Okay, fair enough. I think the Redemption's the best thing to compare to. I think, when you're looking at that, I can anticipate potentially a lot more skins, but the same people that made that also make the Black Ops collection, so I'm not sure if they're going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But they have been successful with Black Ops with a decent amount of acceptances, and they do produce quality work. So I'm thinking about it, I'm questioning it, and I think, you know what, I'll probably consider a long-term hedge. I think I'll do like 90 cents to $1.20. I'll explain now. Why would I offer that? Less than half, just about less than half. I am concerned about the autumn-fall seasonal dip. Of course, as we are now entering July and August, in theory, we should be seeing some very good prices now. A lot of kids should be out of school around this period of time across the world, so more people playing. Also, summer sale right now. Tomorrow, with the July 4th swipe, we are expecting a lot of people to turn up. Hopefully. But after all of that's happened, as we roll into September, October, November, that is the autumn-fall seasonal dip. Remember spring when I pointed out, yep, we're going to probably see a lot less people play around now, and then we're going to notice problems, issues, and prices going down. Same thing. But most skins will reach their lowest price point at some point around October time. This is a routine thing that happens every single year. So, the point I'm trying to get across is, I don't know how that's going to behave in the foreseeable future, but judging the behaviour of L96 skins in general, I'm not expecting much, and I am worried that it's going to drop off a fair bit as time goes on, because it has sold quite a fair bit. So 90 cents to $1.20 would be more like a long-term approach, because, well, around October time, I won't be surprised if that's when I'm going to pick them up. But if it does kind of bounce back up to around $2 around January time, January 2026, yeah, I'm fine with that. But yeah, it's going to be a long-term approach. So if you're not that concerned, or if you're not that interested, you don't have to do a barter. But I think you're probably better off focusing more about the long term, because I don't know how that's going to behave in the short term. And I'm not sure if we're going to see the collection continuations. So I'll leave it at that. Big toe boots. We did not see a collection continuation. I'm not sure what the skin creator is considering. I'm not sure what he's thinking. Lots of comments there, as you can see. There's a lot of interest. But what is he going to do next? I'm not seeing anything being mentioned here. Just to quickly showcase to you, the skin creator did not do a collection continuation. They did an L96 instead. Okay. Alright then, so. Glassolio. Poopy. They're toes. They're not thumbs. I know I made the reference to Spy Kids, but that was thumbs. Those are toes. Again, they could just probably just say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do a Spy Kids reference. And I did suggest the idea of tier 2, big toes. You could do a big coffee can toe. That would work. That would make sense. That would be okay to a point. Okay, fair enough. Big toe boots, I'm not sure if the gimmick is going to last forever. I'm not sure if people are always going to find it funny. Thumb hat, sure. We just need to see something to continue it, potentially be a nice investment you know, a nice collection. But I'm not 100% convinced. I think people will find it I think people appreciate them for a nice quick laugh. I think people will respectfully like them to a reasonable point, but I don't see it retaining that $2 price. I am concerned. If we do see continuations, I think things would be better. But, I think I'm just going to do 70 cents to $1. Sorry to say. I don't think it's sold excessively. I don't think it's sold insanely. It's sold quite respectfully. But even then, I'm not sure. I need to see more. So listen, if you bought a pair for yourself, that's fine. You didn't make an investment. You bought something because you wanted it. You go appreciate those toe boots. Get a laugh of them wherever you can, all right? Support that skin creator. But as an investment, I'm still not 100% convinced it's going to be A-okay. Maybe as time goes on, it does eventually work out nicely. Who knows, all right? But we need to see more of this proposed collection. Maybe that was just a one-off joke, haha, silly thing from Face Punch. I know a lot of people would have preferred the Island Assault boots. So, will we see those tomorrow? Oh, we'll see. Anyway, I think I'll just stick with 70 cents to $1. If you're not offer more, by all means, offer more. I'm just not fully behind it. Now, if I could just quickly, bring up boots in general. Not those. 2 O's. Right, there we go. How many of you actually like using boots? Because I've heard non-stop from people, oh, I don't like to wear boots, it makes sound. But you always make sound. But anyway. Down slightly, down a fair bit, down slightly, down a fair bit. Let's just take control here. Let's scroll down. Down, 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 down. Yeah, we've got quite a few of these in the negative, but then the older ones, they're doing a lot better. And these are like the generic ones you get for free. So scrolling up, there is a majority of these in the positive. As you scroll up to like more recent times, you do notice a few more in the negative. And these are complete collections other than Overheat. That got completed. That was completed. It's a bit 50-50. I'm not fully convinced. But by themselves, I don't see them holding up. So I feel like I've established that point by now. Let's move on. No Mercy sheet metal double door. So when I did my 48-hour analysis, I was making considerations in regards to how much that was likely to sell, and I thought that was going to end up doing between 11 to 13,000 subscribers. I was spot on. So a $3 skin, 12,200 subscribers. Maybe by tomorrow it probably gets closer to 13,000. But we are expecting an early rush rotation tomorrow because, considering it's a full swipe. So just saying. No Mercy is a very large collection. Really? Yeah, look at that. 37. Wow. How come that skin's in the collection but not the other things? Anyway, whatever. It's the largest collection we have in Rust. But with the arrival of that, it didn't really change anything because there's so many skins already. It does get appreciated. People do appreciate and like it to a point. But I've got to consider this. We are getting quite a lot of sheet metal double doors at the moment. We've just had the Twitch drops for Bellum. And we had the Star Yuki sheet metal double door for free, didn't we? Yep. And just around the corner, in a few weeks' time, we're going to have the Fancy Orb Twitch drops. We're going to see that very, very nice... Where is it? I'm trying to find it. That very, very nice... I am looking at most recent, right? Where is it? I saw a very cool Twitch drop, but I can't seem to find it anymore. Where did it go? I don't know. All right, search by most popular. It'd still be pretty high up, correct? Fancy, did you hide it? You know the Fancy Orb Twitch drop with the 2 dragons and whatnot. I can't find it now. Where did it go? Well, okay. We're going to get a Twitch drop later this month, which is a sheet metal double door with 2 very cool looking dragons. You know what? I could just quickly hop over to my YouTube and search for it. Yeah. Fancy Orb. Here we go. And what do we see? Where's that Twitch drop? My goodness, it's right there. So, if you haven't seen this short video already showcasing it, you can already see the dragons. That's a very cool looking glow-in-the-dark sheet metal double door that will be given away for absolutely free. That's just around the corner. So, No Mercy sheet metal double door. $3, and we're getting something very, very cool that potentially might, take up all the interest away from it. I'm making considerations. I'm thinking about it. And you know what? Maybe it does dip in price for a fair bit. for an initial amount of time. What I'm considering is looking at this more in the long term. So last year, we got an abundance of sheet metal double door skins. It's getting harder to say it quickly. But the point I'm trying to get across is, we got so many last year, but have you seen them recently? They have all basically like doubled in price. So you've got beauty industry right there, that's doubled in price. Protector sheet metal double door, that's doubled in price. Screening area double door, that's doubled in price. Neon bismuth metal sheet metal double door, that's basically doubled in price and more. Now these skins over here, they haven't doubled in price, but they're still doing very, very nicely. You might sit there and say, what about that one, and that one? Well, that's Halloween and that's Christmas. It's out of season, isn't it? But you should look at that one because we're getting closer to Christmas, aren't we? Halloween, people don't really care too much about Halloween. But anyway, we got so many of them last year and they still worked out perfectly, but it took a year to see them reach the prices that they're at now. All right. Now, last year, some of these did go, they did go down in price slightly, but looking at them now, they're so much better. So I'm going to sit here and say, for our brand new No Mercy sheet metal double door, I think I'm going to probably go ahead and do I think I'm just going to go do $2 to $2.50. I don't know if we're going to see that many in the Steam market. But considering it's only reached just barely over 12,000 subscribers at the moment, I really am not expecting that much. And I can see it work out quite nicely, but it doesn't glow. But does that matter too much? It's a cool design, well known. I think I'm going to do $2 to $2.50. I can see it dip down in price a fair bit at some point over the course of the next few months, especially as we go through October. But once we reach January time, I think I'll be doing a lot better. So, reasonable amount of sales is totally fine for us, the investors, because if there's interest as time goes on, all the better for it to rise up in price. Point made. All right, cool. So, in regards to that, it's up to you to offer even more. It's up to you to go ahead and buy some. But it still looks like it's very reliable. But I am fully well aware there are other Twitch drops currently coming out right now and in a few weeks' time that might kind of dissuade you from wanting to buy it. Fair enough. We'll see how it progresses if you want, but yeah, you could just put down a decent barter, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to pick these up for a cheaper price. Cool. Point made. Bone box. So I did compare to the somewhat recent bamboo small box because both of them have transparency, but the main difference is that did just over 26,000 subscribers. That was cool. That was interesting, and you can hide it in the jungle and the forest areas pretty easily. It's not too hard to do. You can do the same thing with the bone box. You can even try and test it out in the desert against the rocks and whatnot. Yeah, you could do that. I don't know if this is just going to be perfectly fine. The bamboo box is still retaining quite a lot of its price, but it has slipped. But then again, the amount of sales it got, and this has only got a third of those sales, sitting here at just under 8,000 subscribers. Okay, that's not that much. That is looking interesting. I'm just not sure what happens from here. I will also point out this is actually part of a collection. It's actually part of the bone collection. Maybe not everybody will fully well aware of that, but I do expect the skin creator to make some continuations. So maybe we'll see a bone large box. Maybe we'll see some more. Did we see that this past weekend though? No, I did not see that. And there you go. So, all right then, something to keep an eye out for. Sure, that's fine. But price, Hedge, price. I think I'm going to offer $1 to $1.50. I'm not 100% convinced it's A-okay. I probably won't request too many in terms of Hedge, you're going to request 50 or 100 or whatever. No, I'll probably do maximum 30 because it hasn't sold too much. I don't really know where it's going to end up at. And of course, storages, how are they in general? How are they currently looking? So if I could just quickly look at, there you go, wood storage box. They're not doing super great. No. Yeah. So I am concerned, and then last year's skins, some of them do quite all right, but some of them not so much. So yeah, I think the price suggestion of $1 to $1.50 seems reasonable. If you want to go a bit stronger, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to just go buy one for yourself, that's totally fun as well. Treat yourself, support the skin creator, but I'm still concerned, so yeah. Right, so that's all the abnormal skins out of the way. Now we have the regular skins. The skins that only become marketable when the rust rotates tomorrow. Island Assault. Cool. The road sign gloves. Island Assault road sign gloves. You have not matched up to the sales that the tier 3 did, and that's a good thing. we're sitting here at just under 17,000 subscribers. And just to quickly remind you, the tier 3, that did just under 20,000 subscribers. So we're off by about 3,000. That is totally fine. Some people are bringing up saying apparently TGG said the boots would be out by tomorrow. I don't know if that's something we can consider a guarantee. I don't know if that's something we can sit here and say, oh, that's for sure going to happen. But a lot of people have said that. I don't know. And I don't think that's the truth. We'll see. We'll see. Because with the Force White tomorrow, a lot of friend-themed skins were produced for it. And you'll understand why in a bit, don't you worry. But anyway, that right there is in a very, very good spot. Now, we've already brought this up when we did first initially look at them, roadside gloves in general. You might, earlier we looked at all the boots and you're probably thinking, wow, that's not looking very reliable. We'll take a look at the roadside gloves. Yep, some of these aren't doing very great at the moment, but if I told you, well, hang on a minute, that's not a complete collection, that's not a complete collection. Oh, hang on a minute, that kind of makes a lot of sense. That is. Well, actually not that one, but those are green and people like that. What I'm trying to get across is these are vastly in the majority of being a positive, nice investment. That's an incomplete collection. That's an incomplete collection. That sold far too much. Only down by 14% though. So, well, hold on a second. This actually looks quite appealing, doesn't it? Yep. What are your thoughts? Look at the black diamond gloves from last year. Sold for $2. Now it's just under $5. Even Heavy Knight's doing quite all right. Yeah, Chameleon's down slightly. That's a bit sad to see. But if that's only one of like a few that are like complete collections that are down bad, look at all the ones that are doing good. So, what's the thing we can consider as a positive? Roadside gloves tend to do very good jobs in regards to retaining their price and, of course, becoming nice potential investments. We are on, keeping an eye out for the potential and seeing the boots potentially being accepted and the hoodie and pants. That's still a possibility. And apparently, the skin creator has said he wants to make the tier 2 and have it out and ready for this upcoming weekend. So, we are anticipating more, and that has sold less compared to the tier 3. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but it's selling at 99 cents. That could potentially be a problem. Maybe. If we were to see an instant collection continuation tomorrow, they're not selling for 99 cents in the Steam market. No. But if you were to sit here and say, Hedge, what would you offer? 80 cents, 90 cents. There was a strong push for these in this collection. Like, there was a strong push for the tier 3 before we even saw the gloves being accepted. That happened last week. And I have seen the Island Assault on the front page quite frequently. So what I'm saying is it really does look like people are appreciating the matte grey design, the not very reflective grey collection that we have building up here. And we are fully well aware of the potential collection continuations. So everything's lining up that this is looking like it's in a very, 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 very good spot. Even if we just got just the boots tomorrow, that would still be a great thing to see. So that's now $4.50. That's now just under $6. It's doing good. People do seem to be wanting. They keep sitting there and saying they like it. That's what I'm hearing. So that right there, if you were to sit there and say, Hedge, should I go buy some? I wouldn't say no. I think I'll be buying a bunch for myself, and I'll see how it is. But yeah, if we don't see a collection continuation tomorrow, don't be surprised if this probably gets a bunch of listings around $1. At the end of the day, the worst I can assume is that probably might just be evens for a while. I would like to see the collection continuations happen. Keep talking to the skin creator if you want, but yeah, it's looking to be in a good spot. So 80 cents to 90 cents for the barter, but honestly, I think you could just go buy some. Just go buy some. I think it's got a pretty good future ahead of it. Cool. Dominus Mortis AK-47. It's a perfectly fine looking design. Got the very cool creature reaching out at you with the gold trim and whatnot. But even then, I'm not really sure if it's going to get anywhere. Also, did we see a collection continuation? No. But we do have the LR300 right there, and I'm convinced we will be seeing more of it. I did make the mistake of not showing it in my rust rotation video because I'm an idiot. That we could confirm. But yeah, I think this is just going to behave like a normal AK-47, which unfortunately isn't a very good thing. It's not going to end up like the Heat Seeker AK, for example. It's going to probably end up more like, well, if I could just quickly load all of this. Come on, load. Load it up. Can we get there? Yes, we can. Yeah, it's going to probably end up like Cock AR, Bamboo, and Croco and Grim Garden down by 60%. Oof. It's not surprising when, you know, we've got over 300 AK-47s now. There's so much you could compare to. There's so many other options you could look at. So, unfortunately, at $2, it wouldn't surprise me if it goes down to about $1. So that's why I suggest 60 cents to 80 cents. Now, if we do see more of this collection being built up, that would be cool, but I haven't seen signs of it, so yeah. Then, of course, we also have the Steel Primitive. Now, here's one thing I didn't really make too much of a fuss about. This is actually coloured green. Not ridiculously green, but it is green. And, you know, if we just looked at that picture, we could have made a big fuss about it. So, it hasn't sold excessively. It's only done about 8,000 subscribers, which isn't that much. And we have to question, well, what to think of it next? What are we going to see? There was no collection continuation this past weekend. The bandana is small. I worry about the bandana. I'll explain myself in a bit. The poncho and the boonie hat might be interesting. So let's elaborate first. What's wrong with the bandana? It reminds me of the Reptile Hunter bandana. It's got transparency. If you have pale skin, if your character has pale skin, when you're in the jungle, you're going to get noticed a fair bit more. If you have a transparent bandana, it's not covering your neck, people notice your skin. I've talked about this. So if you were to go back and look at the Reptile Hunter, notice the difference between the poncho and the bandana. Why is that down by 40%? Why is that currently in the positive? Well, that covers your body. It's dark green. It's appreciated. But that doesn't cover your neck. And then, of course, when you look at all the other bandanas we have in the game, there are two standard bandanas, which are green, you could get for pennies. The green bandana for about 23 cents and the forest camo bandana, which you could get for about 30 cents. I showcased this in my videos where I kind of compared green camouflage in the jungle with each other, and you're probably just better off with that. Even with the likes of the Steel Primitive. So, okay, point made, understood, we get it. So that is a concern I worry about for that. But the boonie hat is different. Now, I will sit here and say, in the past, we've had some pretty cool looking boonie hats, more specifically, last year. But let me remind you, last year, this, and even this, and no, that was always alright. They went down in price. They did. Not ridiculously, but that was down to like less than $1. This was down to just slightly above $1. They both did go down. Now, somewhat recently, that was in the positive. That's currently in the positive. They're looking good now. And if you were to go ahead and look at all these other boonie hats, you'll sit there and say, wow, that's looking like it's going to be perfect. Be warned, all right? Be warned. It's not going to instantly be okay. However, with the sales at hands and whatnot, it doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's going to be the most reliable thing out of these three. So for 99 cents there, I think you could go pretty close to it. And then we had the poncho. We have other green ponchos. But that's 99 cents. That's the cheapest green poncho. Compare it to all the other ponchos we have. So let's just quickly bring this up. We have the sea one. We have the Reptile Hunter poncho, which we just showed you a second ago. Fish poncho. There are options, but that is 99 cents. So Reptile Hunter, just over $2. I'm not going to bother the Christmas wreath. It's got a lot of transparency and red baubles on it. It's not helpful. But yes, there we have the banana leaf, $5. Deep sea poncho, $2. Frog cosplay is too bright. We can't consider that one. And then we have fish poncho, just under $3. That actually might work out simply by being the cheapest. Is it going to be a huge, massive profit though? No, because the other ones will keep it grounded. That might just simply retain its value. Now, is everyone going to appreciate that as a green poncho? A bit debatable. If we do see Steel Primitive continuations, like I was really hoping to see some leather gloves or some hide boots, that would look cool. But the skin traders did not do that yet. If we see it happen, all of that would be expected to spike in price. But for the poncho, I'm not feeling as confident. So let's just quickly explain the prices then. Boonie hat, I think you could probably offer between 75 to 85 cents. Bandana, I'll probably do like 40 to 50 cents, not confident. Poncho, 65 to 75 cents. Yes, that would be my suggestion. I know it's a bit all over the place. I know, but yeah, that's how I think things currently stand. And I am taking into consideration the long term as well. I am taking into consideration the potential to see a lack of continuations. So if you want to offer more, you're more than welcome to do so, but that's my suggestions, that's my thoughts. Cool. Right, so I don't know how long we yapped on for, but we do have a reasonable amount of time to just quickly talk about what we expect for tomorrow. So as I've already said, we are expecting basically some friend theme skins. So if I could just quickly navigate over to here, there we go. The Friends with Benefits update. Yes, we're going to have a full swipe tomorrow, so we should expect an early rust rotation, because typically we'll see the rust rotate early, and about an hour later, we'll see the update go through. So if you're watching this tomorrow, maybe about midday during your time or whatever, my time, you get the idea. You might want to consider making some purchases if you want to, but yes, it is expected that we will have an early rust rotation, okay? So you've got to make some moves if you haven't done so yet. So it's not a big, massive update, but we are seeing the introduction of the party system. So you'll be able to group up before you're even in a server and then join as a group into a server. So that will probably make things a lot more efficient in getting grouped up together and whatnot. That sounds really cool in theory, but it's definitely helping out the groups rather than the solos. A lot of the solos are very unhappy about this, just saying. Is it going to be every single server? We don't know. Could this change the game and maybe be something that turns out to be a very interesting positive? We'll see. But other than that, there isn't that much else. Quality of life things such as snappable deplorables is a good thing to see. Legacy gates are actually being introduced now, so the Frontier wood gate skins that's actually getting added. That'll probably cost about $15 CP. But it's not like a massive, insane, big content update. Now, earlier I did mention how most skins tend to go down in price around September, October, November. So I could just quickly remind you of this. I'm sure you've been keeping an eye on the commits, and I'm sure many of you are fully well aware of this proposed naval update that's been talked about for a very long time, making boats and sailing around in the ocean. Well, that's apparently proposed to appear at some point around October time. Last year, for October, we had the World update, and a lot of people turned up, and a lot of people enjoyed themselves, and that kickstarted a very fun time. We're expecting the naval update to be for October 2025. If we see something very similar happening, oh my goodness, the prices, once we hit January time, January 2026, but prices did still drop off around here. They just didn't go down super insanely bad. And then, of course, by the time we reached January 2025, prices were insane, lovely, wonderful profits were made. The January force swipe for 2025 was the 2nd of January. So we had a force swipe very quickly. The force swipe for January 1st, 2026, it's on the 1st. I shouldn't have said that. I worded that wrong. Okay. January 1st is the force swipe for January 2026. On the day of New Year's. So many people are going to be playing with a hangover. Maybe just the Americans, will see, but you get the point. Wow. So that's happening. I really am looking forward to the next 6 months in terms of what to expect. But I really do hope that things improve with tomorrow and, of course, with the August time. Because prices in general haven't exactly been super great. Over the course of June, it has been a bit of a slump. Prices were better initially at the beginning of the month, but it kind of went... So let's hope we get a bit of reinvigoration, a nice bump, because I've still got things I want to sell. But I can't sell now because I know I could do better. It's annoying. It is annoying. So, all right, cool, understood. So what could we expect for tomorrow? Well, in the newest batch of skins that are submitted, I've seen like this Neon Cage Med's large box, Desert Raiders backpack, ice picks have started to appear. Yes, the initiative, the idea of seeing more salvaged ice pick skins being produced and submitted to the workshop, they're there. They are there. And we've got a lovely, interesting batch that have been submitted. I'm sure many of you have seen the flamingo. Apparently someone's made a swan now. I don't know what these are. They're not that good. He's missing a... what? All right, anyway, so they're still a bit questionable, those ones. But if you've seen my most recent batch and my most recent Rust Workshop Skin Checks video, you'd know that we've been seeing some very cool looking skins provided. So let's just go over to here. You have the likes of the Croco Ice Pick, Lawn Flamingo, Greed, Prototype. This one's actually a collection continuation. That's cool to see. Did I also point out that with the introduction of the 2K resolution for fridges, we now have Neon Berries fridge? Oh, what fridge would you like to see next? I did tell people to make some suggestions. Also send me berry. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, you might see more of that. That's cool. But in reference to friends, you're probably going to see some nice friendly sort of skins being accepted. I could go all the way down over to here. You got like the friend rug there. I think that's a very good shout. That's been getting a lot of attention. If I could scroll up a little bit more, we got like best friends burlap right there. That wouldn't surprise me. So you're going to see some stuff that's just quite literally friend stuff. What does that encompass? I mean, I don't know. Just fun, goofy, friendly stuff such as this. I like that double door. That looks cool. I think a lot of people would like that. It also happens to glow in the dark quite nicely. Oh, yes. So, cool. Cool. Lots of interesting skins, but which ones will be accepted? Well, you better start sitting there and suggesting what ones you'd like to see, so comment below. So yeah, that was all the skins from the previous week. This is the newest batch of skins, and if you want to be aware of all the newest skins that have been submitted, consider watching my Rust Workshop Skin Checks video, in which all the collection continuations are chaptered like so. Yippee! So yeah, we probably want to quickly get a move on then, because we've only got like 10 minutes to prepare, so let's now skip ahead, do the buy orders, we'll talk a bit more afterwards, but yeah, remember, tomorrow, early Rust rotation. Okay, 5 seconds to go, 3, 2, 1, and let's roll. Okay, I'm actually supposed to be on this one. I'm forgetting which order I am. Whoopsie. Oh, there you go. Oh my, 70 requests already. Okay, that was quick. Good. Right, that'll do. Right, $2 bar order first, and Cryo Furnace. Don't have you. Big Toe Boots. How you doing? 50 cents. Okay, that's pretty okay. I guess. Right, not requesting too much. Right, what do you have over here? Nuke Vibe Garage Door. Hello, how you doing? You've got barders going up to currently, just barely over $1. That's fine with me. And we'll request that much, and then off we go. Right, what we've got going over here? Isoparam L96, a perfectly fine, cool looking design, but I'm not sure if the price is going to hold up that nicely in the future, so I'm just going to go ahead and request about $1. Let's go do that. All right, cool. And then over to here, what do we have? It is the Bone Box. Bone Box, you're pretty cool. You're pretty interesting. Not sure if you're going to be A-OK forever. Let's go put that barter down. Let's go request that amount. That's nice. Then over to here, we have this barter to do. Cryo Furnace. Still not 100% convinced. Still not 100% sure. But a decent barter can still work out quite nicely. Let's go ahead and do this. And then request that. And it should be okay. That's nice. We've got all the barters done. Yippee! Let's go do the second batch of barters. Let's go. So, sheet metal double door. You currently have barters going all the way up to about, what, that's there? That's about $2.50 at the moment. Sort of. Okay, so I've done my $2 barter. Do you want to go above those? Yes, I can. Will I go above those? Yes, I can. Right, then I've got my Cryo Furnace buy order to do. The second one, $1 there. $2 skin. Not 100% sure it's going to be all right. I did say 70 cents, didn't I? Yes, I did. I did. I've only done the... Alright, you know what? Out of curiosity, I might push it. Maybe I'll go sneak in a $1.20 buy order. I kind of feel somewhat invested with the idea of seeing that garage door. I just won't request too much of them. Right. So, I've got a decent amount of barters down. So what we'll do is we'll skip ahead, look at the abnormal barter support, see how many barters each skin has and how much money they go up to and whatnot, you get the idea. And we'll consider if we actually want to jump in and make some purchases. So that... And we're back. It's been over an hour, and, well, we still can't see the prices. So let's go ahead and flick over to the skins and see how they're currently holding up. Looking at the bar orders, No Mercy sheet metal double door, that is looking good. It's a $3 skin with barders going all the way up to $2.50, as expected. But the barter build up, plenty above $1, plenty over $1, at $2. And then over to here, around $2.50, plenty to support it. It hasn't sold that much. Could work out very nicely as time goes on. But as I said, we are kind of aware that there are more Twitch drops on the horizon. And you never know, maybe we'll start seeing a lot more sheet metal doors being accepted later this year. We'll see how it is. But yeah, if you're looking at all the skins as of now, that's definitely looking to be a nice consideration. So, alright, that's cool. Next up, here we have the Cryo Furnace. $2 skin with the barders. As you can see, not as much, and the price is not as high. Obviously, this sells for $2, but the build-up, plenty above $1, but then 40 slightly above, and then only 30 more at a slightly higher price of $1.20. That doesn't look like it's going to retain its price as of now. But again, if we see an instant continuation, loads of things can change. That is looking reasonably okay, but it doesn't look like it's going to retain its price. Perhaps the sales aren't too ridiculous, or perhaps they are. We'll see how the collection progresses, but you could probably just put down a $1.50 bar and you could pick these up for 50 cents cheaper. So, okay then. Big Toe Boots. Funny, silly, but the prices just aren't matching up to its Rust Store price. Bulk of the barders are below $1. There's only a few above $1. It's a $2 skin. I mean, that's not going to be retaining its price. So once again, you could probably offer like $1.30, get these for 70 cents cheaper. It wouldn't surprise me. Maybe we do see Big Toe Collection continuations, who knows? But we haven't seen that yet. I'm not feeling that confident. You could just buy these for $1.30 of a buy order. Over to here, Nuke Vibes Garage Door. So this is the top selling skin of the week. But I am concerned about garage doors. I've expressed myself quite thoroughly, pointing out all the potential problems. Now, it would be cool if we see some collection continuations, but again, haven't seen that yet. But it wouldn't surprise me if we do. Nuke Vibe Large Box, Sheet Metal Double Door, Water Purifier, you get the idea. So that's a $3 skin, and the highest bar is $1.76. The bulk of the bars end at just over $1. Yeah, that looks like it's going down in price. We suggested $1 to $1.50, and the highest big bar order is only $1.28. So that doesn't look like it's going to be holding up its value. No. So that is a concern. You could just literally offer $1.50, and I would not be surprised in the slightest. At some point this year, you'll eventually be picking up for $1.50 cheaper at $1.50 because it's half the price. Wow. Isoparam L96, $2.49 skin, but after learning how the Redemption L96 behaved, after seeing the sales this has got, we are concerned. L96s in general. So, yeah. You're better off probably just putting down like a $1.30 buy order halfway. Wouldn't surprise me if you pick these up for that price eventually at some point. October time, most likely. Long-term thinking, yeah. Bulk of the buy orders are basically just barely over $1. So, yeah, doesn't really look like it's going to be holding its price. No. And then lastly, Bone Box. This is a $2 skin, if I can recall. Is it $2 or $2.49? Let's just quickly remind myself. That is a $2.49 skin. Wow. Because that doesn't look like it's retaining its price. No. $1.50 is the highest buy order. 770 requests, but yeah. Plenty of buyers below $1. Fairly decent amount above $1. But yeah, that is not going up that much. That isn't looking very pretty. So yeah, that is a bit of a concern. Well then, honestly, it's just this then, isn't it? And of course, if we could just quickly refer back, the roadside gloves are also looking very good. So if you were to consider those two, I wouldn't say no. I'm actually thinking about both as well. I've got to figure out what accounts I'd want to buy them with because I don't have that much money on my accounts. Fingers crossed, we do see a nice boost to the play account with the July Force Wipe. We'll see. July, August, I am hoping much better. Last year, we did see the majority of people in June, but it was still very nice with the following months. So we'll see how things progress. Honestly, with what we've seen in the beginning of the year, maybe our standards are just too high. Maybe. So, okay, that's cool. That's fine. And like I said, the expectation is a lot of friend-themed skins to be accepted. Maybe we'll see some of the early picks. We'll see. All of these skins, of course, being submitted over the past weekend. Maybe we do see a salvaged ice pick skin being accepted for the first time in, 7 years? Last one was accepted back in 2018, so... Okay, fair enough. Who knows? We'll see. Right then, so feel free to comment below out of all the skins that have been submitted somewhat recently, which ones are looking very appealing to you, and which ones would you like to see being accepted. But yeah, that's it. So once again, also, if you're watching this during your lunch break the next day, please be aware that the rust store is rotating early. That is the expectation. If the Force Wipe is going to happen around 7 o'clock in the evening UK time, you'd most likely expect the rust rotation to happen an hour earlier. Alright? So 6 PM UK time, London time, that's the expectation for the rust rotation. Be prepared for that. If you're considering making a purchase, make sure you do it before then. And that includes you, Twitch chat. Alright? You've got to figure out what you want to do. Okay? Alright then, so that is nice, that is cool, and that's pretty much everything that needed to be said. Obviously, I didn't talk about anything in regards to commits because we basically know what's coming. Nothing's new that's been said, so okay, fair enough, understood. So, what do you reckon the peak player count will be over the course of this weekend? Last month, it only went up to just over 191,000. Could we see higher? Could we see better? I hope so. I really do. I want to sell some more things, but sometimes it's not always perfect. It's unfortunate, but it'd be like that. Cool. Right, so yeah, that is everything, and feel free to keep an eye out on my Twitter as well. I do point out some strange things. Yep, those are kitties. But yeah, looks like that is it. That is everything. So cool. So with the Twitch drops now finishing, the next batch are expected to be the fancy up Twitch drops. And the second I see all of them, the second they're in front of me, I will showcase them to the best of my ability. Hopefully that's fairly soon. So, yeah, that's it. That's a wrap. I hope you'll enjoy yourself. I hope we get some nice things. I hope you're happy. But maybe lower your standards a bit. I'm joking, but, you know, we'll see. One final thing to point out. Over the past few weeks, we've noticed a very random late pick for the Rust doors. Of course, for this current Rust door, we had the No Mercy sheet metal double door. That was submitted back in, May 2024? So who knows what will appear tomorrow. But maybe we'll see some sort of friend theme skin from years ago being accepted. What will it be? Well, there's only one way to find out. We've got to wait. So, thank you very much. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.